Hello, everyone out there.
Hello.
We are giving you another bonus episode this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one's just a standard movie review. Yeah.
Yeah, because we just went to the movies, guys.
And we thought we would talk about what we saw because what we saw was awesome
It was
and fucked up.
film of the year for me. But
What?
oh shit, am I shooting my load too quick?
You might be. It's pretty early in the year, but
Yeah,
it was a good movie.
It was
It was a good movie.
great movie. And that film is called
Immaculate.
yes. Wow, it was not the film I thought it was going to be.
No, I was expecting a stock standard supernatural horror. It features nuns, some kind of paranormal activity kind of thing.
Like The Nun.
Like The Nun.
Yeah,
Like The Nun.
nothing.
Not that movie. No. No.
I mean, it did have a lot of gothicness,
Yeah.
like The Nun, the original The Nun.
Yeah.
However, The Nun wishes it could be this good.
Yeah.
And I love The Nun.
We'll go into non-spoiler territory first, and then we'll go into spoilers later because I got to talk about stuff that happened in this movie.
this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so the plot line.
Is basically a young nun by the name of Sister Cecilia has joined a convent in Italy. It's basically an old folks' home for nuns, and her call to God has sent her to Italy, and this is where she's going to
Be a carer for
yeah.
nuns that are on their way out.
Exactly. But the convent and her purpose is there is not what she expects.
Well, maybe not a purpose. Maybe it's like, I mean, we can spoil this part because the film is called Immaculate.
Yeah.
And if you have ever been a churchgoer or know a little bit about the Bible, whatever, you know about the Virgin Mary and Immaculate Conception.
Yeah.
And that is the basic crux of this movie.
Yeah.
She arrives at this convent and she becomes a part of an initiate. She's an initiate to begin with, and then she takes her vows, and then after she takes her vows, she has some horrific nightmares and dreams and things where she's being attacked, and then we find out later on
That she is pregnant. And she is a virgin.
and she's very much a virgin. So it's like, well,
it's a miracle.
it's a Christmas miracle.
It's a miracle.
Yeah,
It's not a miracle.
no. It either could be a miracle or a what do they call it, demonic situation.
Yep. Yep.
This poor girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie is basically about the fact that she is pregnant with what they tell her is the Lord and Savior, and
And it's a boy.
it's a boy,
Yeah.
and having to deal with that and the consequences of that. Can we describe any more without going into spoiler territory?
Well, she meets a couple of people in the convent.
Yeah.
She meets the Mother Superior, and she is quite an aggressive person. We won't give away really many of the scenes, because even the first scene is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But so that is she's very strict, which you'd expect her to be because she's a mother superior. And she meets a fellow initiate called Isabel.
Yeah.
And she's someone who's had a hard life and has been abused by the sounds of it, and she finds solace in the church. But
Well, Isabel is
she's a
not
great
all-
character.
Not all she seems either. And then there's another.
Oh no, that's Isabel is that one. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got the characters wrong. Isabel is mean. She's like the mean girls, all
Yeah.
four of them wrapped up in one person.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
She's a B word.
She's
Sorry for getting that wrong.
she's a nun that's been at the convent for a while, and she's sort of tasked with introducing Sister Cecilia to the convent and showing her around. And you get the impression pretty early on that Isabella doesn't like Cecilia.
Jealousy.
Yeah, she's jealous of her. We don't quite know why. We're about to find out why. There's another character, the one you were talking about. It's
Yeah.
actually Sister Gabriella.
Gabriella, sorry.
And she's the one who's had a hard life, and she's sort of joined the convent because she had
no place to go, really.
Yeah, she had no place to go. And she's had a bad history with men, and she wanted to go to a place where
She won't get abused.
there were no men, and she wouldn't
won't
get
get
abused,
abused.
and she wouldn't have to take her clothes off, and so she ended up here. But she's not quite as strictly religious as the rest of the gang.
No, she's a great character. And we also meet Father. I cannot remember the character's name. Father someone. She's going to look it up while I say he's found his calling after having an actual normal life. He was a scientist before going into the ministry, and he seems like someone who's had experience, so he knows what it's like to be on the outside.
Father Sal.
Yeah, Father Sal.
Yeah.
He knows what it's like to be on the outside, having a normal life, and then becoming a priest and finding his calling.
He seems to be very nice and supportive and
He's
kind.
He's very masculine.
Yeah, and he's an ex-biologist.
Yeah, scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, scientist.
Well, he says biologist.
Yeah, we can say just scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a
Clue.
yeah. Shut up. And then there's a cardinal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which I didn't think cardinals were actually at convents.
Well, I don't think they generally are, but for an Immaculate Conception, maybe they show up.
Yeah, and then there's a doctor.
Yep.
Doctor who apparently performs births on weekends and stuff like that. But he's a gynecologist, so he's obstetrician. Sorry,
that's what Cecilia is told anyway. He's actually there to take care of the
sick and the elderly.
Because it's an old folks' home / hospice. It's a place for these elderly nuns to die. So he's the doctor there that helps them on their way and makes sure that they're nice and comfortable. But apparently he's also an obstetrician.
I mean, I've moonlighted as an obstetrician. A gynecologist, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my second job. Actually, the third one, because I'm Batman. She has to live with this, guys. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
So, the one thing I found amazing about this film was the cinematography.
Yeah,
it's got some most
beautiful
luscious.
movie.
It's luscious. It did not have any CG backgrounds.
No.
Had no falseness in.
Some effort was put into this movie, and not just the cinematography as well.
Sound design was
the
amazing.
sound design was. I mean, we were really lucky. We were the only two people in our cinema tonight. So I
You
guess
look over your shoulder all the time.
We were literally looking over our shoulders multiple times because there were sounds coming from all around that made us feel like we were being watched. That
It was like
there
watching
was no one
Silence.
there. It's just the sound design was that good.
It was like watching Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Or Basic Instinct
Yeah.
when I was a kid. Those films freaked me out.
Yeah.
Which it is a freak out movie. It has it doesn't follow a pattern what I thought it was going to be, because I like nunsploitation films because I'm a fan of those movies, and that's what I thought we were going to see, and
But no,
it's
this
nothing.
is a horror movie of a different kind.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, a lot of those weren't horror films,
I have no doubt.
but yeah, it was sumptuous. It was the set design is amazing. I mean, they really lucked out at that abbey or the convent, you know, whatever it was. It was a beautiful place. It reminded me of what's that? The last Conjuring movie that we saw at the cinema. What was the last one we saw? With the French guy, Frenchie, and they were in that girls' school and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know.
One of those Conjuring films. Anyway, it reminded me of that a bit, but it's like those films wish they were this, because this is like high production value, and there's no low budget about this film.
And I was looking at what the box office projections are for this movie, and they've released it obviously at the same time as the new Ghostbusters movie, and
It's unfortunate.
yeah, and it was projected to make 5 million in its opening weekend. It made 2 million on its opening night, so it hasn't.
I mean, this came out in America last week and here last week as well, which is great. We actually finally get a film get at the same time. And
It's just a shame that a movie this good can have such low box office numbers. So,
but
go out and see it.
Please go and see it.
We highly recommend.
And I got to say, the Academy Award goes to
Sydney Sweeney.
Wow.
Our sister Cecilia. This girl is sort of become famous from being on Euphoria, the TV show, and the first season of White Lotus. But she now she created her own production company, 50/50 Films, in I think it was 2018, 2020.
She does all this research. Hey?
And
I'm just an idiot that watches films.
And her production company actually produced this movie. This movie was kind of a bit of a passion project for her. She heard about it and auditioned for it back in 2014.
She would have been
which is weird because she would have been 16 years old
16.
At the time. And yeah, it sort of got shelved, and then she bought the rights to the movie and went to the director, who's apparently a friend of hers, and went, "What do you think of this?" And then they made a movie, and they made a really good movie. So,
I hope that combo stays because
tip my cap to Sydney Sweeney. Well done.
I mean, all I know her is from everyone's talking about her SNL a couple of weeks ago,
recently,
and how she was very scantily dressed in SNL. Whatever.
Yeah.
And she's a very attractive woman, but man, can she act! Like it just goes to show you never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, we on the way home we were talking about a performance, and we were saying she kind of reminds us of a Florence Pugh.
I actually find her more appealing as an actress than Florence Pugh because she can be very hit or miss for me. I mean, she was great in Black Widow.
Yeah, they both give good face acting. And
everything is in the face.
Yeah,
with
particular
Sydney.
good face acting in this movie. Oh boy, there are some certain scenes that we'll talk about in a minute, especially towards the end of the movie, that are
It shakes you up
hard to watch. Really, really hard to watch.
in a good way.
Yeah.
If you're into that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are squeamish, if you are someone who's easily offended, if you're religious,
Yeah.
please don't watch this film because we don't want people picketing and making judgments, snap judgments. I mean, this is the kind of film. It's ripe for people having that knee jerk, right wing agenda reaction. This film is going to anger a lot of Bible thumping people that cheat on their wives while they're pregnant.
Yeah.
And with a porn star.
Yeah.
It's going to really upset those people that are hypocritical.
Shall we tell the audience why? Are we ready to go into spoiler territory?
Okay. If you haven't seen this film, if you're intending to see it, stop.
Stop watching now.
Okay. And all of you that are staying, we'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and why?
Okay, it's spoiler time. It turns out that this movie has got no paranormal anything
Nothing.
about it.
No supernatural.
There's no miracle here. There's no immaculate conception.
No. The whole crux is there's the nail that was in Christ's hand on the cross.
Apparently, our scientist,
Biologist.
biologist,
She spoilt it earlier.
geneticist,
DNA dude.
DNA priest guy.
He's that dude out of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, he is
He's a
that
digger
dude out
like
of
me.
Jurassic Park. Apparently, they found the DNA of Christ on that nail, and they've been trying to recreate their Lord and Saviour by implanting women with
The stuff
with
of legend.
the genetic sperm, I guess, of their Lord and Saviour, and
it's failed for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's 20 years they've been doing this to many
and
women.
you get to see all of these failures because Father Cecilia finds out over the course of the movie what has been happening to her and that she's not pregnant with a miracle, that she was in fact.
I was going to lead up to this, but that's cool. We're just going straight for it.
Yeah, and she was in fact, raped and probably
Turkey
turkey
based.
basted
Yep.
in her sleep. And
Maybe
yeah,
not asleep, maybe drunk.
and she's shown.
That wine that she drinks, that wine was
Yeah, she probably was
she was drugged because that's the she has a nightmare straight after.
That's probably exactly what happened.
Yeah.
They drugged her wine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry, I was trying to put 2 and 2 together to make 5.
but she's shown the laboratory where they've done all of their research and they've got all of these fetuses that have, kind of made it so far along the pregnancies in the past, and
Miscarriages.
they didn't make it, and they're really gross.
And
hers is the only pregnancy to have made it
to the
end.
third trimester,
Yeah.
And then to make sure she is, I don't know, the mark of the Scarlet Woman or whatever, they actually get a hot poker and sear into her feet the cross.
Yeah.
And it's so painful. But you see one of the old nuns beforehand that dies, you see on the she sees on the bottom of her feet the cross.
Yeah.
The exact same brand that she has done to her later on. So obviously the nun, one of the old nuns that died, was
one of the test subjects. But they did it to stop her from escaping. I got hints of misery actually when they did that,
That was cool.
to her feet, because prior to that scene, Cecilia tries to escape by pretending that she's having a miscarriage, and she
killing a chicken.
yeah, she does. She slaughters a chicken and covers herself in blood.
And the Mother Superior says, she's disgusting because she put a chicken in an animal inside herself. I'm thinking, no, she freaking didn't. She just rubbed the blood on herself.
Yeah, and
Inside herself. That's
but
getting.
poor Cecilia makes the mistake of hiding this dead chicken underneath the bed because she fools them, and they're
taking her to the hospital.
They're taking her to the hospital to get her checked out because apparently she's miscarrying.
She's gonna die.
The new Christ, and she's going to die. But
Christ V2.
Yeah, Mother Superior finds the dead chicken under the bed, and she gets caught and brought back, and they burn her feet as punishment. And, ooh,
that's painful looking,
That's
and
not good.
the special effects in this. I mean, there's really no CG, but it might.
no, there's a little bit.
There's a little bit, but this looks bloody real.
It does look real and painful.
And we'll get into real big.
Yeah.
Okay, so she manages in her last trimester. She's about to give birth. She's ready to pop,
Mm-hmm.
and she sees that there's a cross behind Mother Superior, and she sees the doors open, and so she thinks this is my time. So she grabs a cross.
I'm going to take the opportunity.
And smacks Mother Superior across their face, like I don't think I've seen it as an impactful hit in years.
Yeah.
And then she just smacks her again as the woman's on the ground, and then she gets the cross and she gets the point of one of the crosses and just pummels it into her face.
And you see every
see it.
single hit into this woman's face.
And it like breaks the nose. You see the nose, and
Oh.
then you see the nose go in. Then you see the teeth get knocked in.
Yep.
And then you see the jaw get knocked out. And I'm just sitting there going, man, this
This
film
is amazing.
This film is just went. You know what? We're going for it.
Yeah.
We're just going.
And this is the beginning of Cecilia's both revenge and escape.
It's a rape revenge film.
Oh yeah, it is very much a rape
like
revenge
if you've
film.
seen MS-45 and all the I Spit on Your Graves and all that kind of stuff, it's like a religious version of those
Yeah,
films.
very much so.
And then she takes revenge on the Monsignor,
Yeah, he gets a rosary around the neck.
and basically it sears into his neck, and you hear his throat break.
Yeah,
Like it is disgusting, and it's great.
awesome.
And then she goes to the lab and she pours ethanol all over the lab.
Yeah,
And with the intent, she steals a lighter with the intent to actually burn either herself and the lab, so they don't get their Christ, or the lab. And Father Sal finds her
yeah,
and tries to pull her back and all that kind of stuff, but she manages to shut the door on him, and she sees the ethanol coming under the door, but he's grabbing her hair and he's yanking her back, and it's really friggin' violent.
You can hear the hair ripping from her forehead.
It's like this is great.
She manages to light the lighter though and set the ethanol alight and the whole laboratory with Father Sal in it.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, it's not enough to kill him just yet. Burns him quite badly, but not enough to kill him. And to make matters worse, this is the moment she goes into labour.
you see the water break, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah.
And she's having contractions, and it's like, as you counted them, they were
Yeah,
less than a minute.
I was like, they're less than a minute apart. This baby's coming quick.
Yeah, and I mean, I called the penultimate bad guys, I call them the unholy trinity, because there's three of them.
Yeah.
And having three, of course, we all know that the Trinity is in religion, and the Catholic religion especially, and
We both got our ironic crosses on this evening.
and it's sort of like the fact that it is the Trinity and all that kind of stuff. I was like really like going, wow, they're really going for a blasphemous tone. Yeah. The unholy Trinity, I just thought was those characters were really well defined, and
Yeah.
I hated each and every one of them. Once you get to the turn, it was sort of like you want them to die.
They deserve the deaths.
They did.
They get.
And then there's a really great chase in the catacombs. So they mentioned early in the first part of the film that there's catacombs. Isabel, Sister Isabel, the mean bitch. Sorry, didn't mean to say the B word. She says there's catacombs under, and Cecilia goes, oh, there's catacombs. She goes, they're off limits. So I actually didn't. I'd forgotten about them, and I thought, no, they're not going to come into play. They come into play.
Oh, as a side note, while we're mentioning Isabel, the reason why she's a nasty bitch, it turns out she wanted to be the one to be implanted with the new Christ, and so she
was in on it.
Yeah, she was in on it, and she was jealous that she wasn't picked, and she even tries to kill Cecilia.
Yeah, and she was Australian, wasn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah, her accent was Australian.
it sounded British to me, but
I thought she sounded like an Australian, and I thought, oh, wicked, represent us. Oh, damn it, she's a mean girl. And there's this really good chase scene, Father Sau and her through the catacombs, and the lighting and because there's always going to be a flickering torch that doesn't work at the worst moments, and jump scares and all that. Yeah. But it actually goes a little bit different.
it's really well handled.
Yeah, because you think it's going to come from that way, and then you think, okay, it's not going to come from that way. It's going to come from that way, but it doesn't even come from anywhere.
Yeah,
It's the tension is amazing.
yeah.
And there's a final battle.
Yes, Cecilia sees the light at the end of the catacomb. She's found
tunnel.
her way out. Yeah, quite literally, the light at the end of the tunnel. And unfortunately, as she's just about to crawl through to her escape, Father Sal grabs hold of her legs and pulls her
It's
back.
like wreck.
It is a bit like wreck, yeah. And he holds her down and grabs a scalpel and proceeds to cut her open. You know, he's going to perform a C-section on her because, you know, she doesn't want to give birth to this
So gross.
new Christ. And that watching him cut her open was quite, because it goes on for a fair bit. And then she pulls out the secret nail. She's been holding the nail
on the cross.
The nail of Christ this whole time, and Father Sal gets it straight through the carotid artery, in one side and out the other.
It was glorious.
Gone.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It was so satisfying.
Very satisfying.
And yes, finally this prick dies.
Yeah.
And
Cecilia makes it out into the light.
And immediately
gives birth.
And oh my God, I've never seen anyone act so realistic
They
giving birth. Ever.
They don't actually show her giving. All you see is literally just her face. She's literally screaming into the camera, and it is a harrowing performance.
And even the camera at one point fogs up.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And I just went, wow, they don't even care that the camera's fogged up.
Yeah.
This is just so real.
And all of a sudden,
like a
she stops screaming, and you hear this plop sound.
Oh, it's great.
And she sort of gives a bit of a,
oh shit.
well, yeah, like what's
like, what
just
the hell
happened.
is that? What is that?
Yeah, and you never get to see this child.
Not close up.
Not close up.
You do see in the distance.
Yeah, like a blurry profile, but
the camera never moves from her. It follows her for about 5-6 minutes, and it's one shot.
Yeah,
and it shows her like moving away from it, because this baby can't breathe properly. It's like he's going.
That's the thing. You can't see it, but you can hear it.
It's like the baby in Eraserhead.
Yeah, it's gasping for breath. It's sort of making choking noises. You can tell that whatever's come out of her is not
real.
Quite right.
Not right. Yeah. It's like I mean, as we were talking, it's like after the film, we're going like, if you mixed the biology of a male from 2,000 years ago with the biology of a female of today's society, the biologies would create something disastrous.
Well, no, that wouldn't be a problem, because genetically humans are the same. It's the issue is that finding 2,000-year-old DNA
that's good.
That's actually viable is not going to happen. So any kind of DNA that you find that's that old is not going to be complete. And
not even in amber. If it was in an amber thing. No. Anyway,
it'd have to be preserved in amber.
The camera follows her, and follows her to a rock, and she picks up the rock. And I'm thinking, she's going to have that. She's not going to.
She's going to have that motherly instinct, right?
Yeah, it's going to. That's going to happen. She walks over to it, and she's like, and just kills them.
And that's the final shot of the
Bang,
movie.
film ends. Gone.
Her squishing.
Yeah, you hear the sound, and
abomination.
and that's it. Film over.
Yep.
God, what a satisfying movie.
Fantastic ending.
God, what a satisfying movie.
So, I mean, this movie is not for everyone. It's not for the faint-hearted.
It's not an Ari Aster sort of A24 pretentious Wes Anderson type of film.
No.
It's a pretty down and dirty film when you get to it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not shot like a Bernardo Bertolucci film, with pretentious filters and all that kind of stuff, and beautiful sort of soft focus filters and all that. This is a film that's real in presentation.
Yeah.
And there's no fantasy about this film.
It is a beautiful film, actually.
But there's no real fantasy.
No, it is very real.
Yeah. I mean, even they explain the biology part of the thing mixing with religion. It's sort of like it's more of a realistic way of the Immaculate Conception happening.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, if you believe in that stuff, you'd be like, oh, the Immaculate Conception happened. But if it was nowadays, this is exactly how it would happen.
Yeah.
And I just found the film just so satisfying.
Yeah. What would you give it out of 10?
I'm thinking 9 at least.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 9 as well.
Yeah.
Actually.
It was a film to beat for me this year.
Yeah.
And I seriously think she's going to get an Academy Award. And the director should get an Academy Award as well. And the scriptwriter.
I don't think any of that will happen because of the
'cause it's a
kind
horror
of
film.
movie it is.
It is a horror film.
Horror movies never get the love. And it's going to be a divisive.
Ooh, right wings are going to be upset.
So, yeah.
I can't wait.
The Academy doesn't like divisive movies.
No, they like nice films.
Yeah. Safe movies.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway. So, guys, from me, stay hydrated.
And remember, leggings are not pants.